Good morning and welcome to Daily Devotions with Pastor Joe. I'm Pastor Joe, and for this morning's devotional, we're looking at Proverbs 10, verses 6 through 14, where we have some very good wisdom from the pen of Solomon. It says, "Blessings are upon the head of the just, but violence covereth the mouth of the wicked." What a profound thought that is. Blessings are upon the head of the just. Violence covereth the mouth of the wicked. I almost imagine the idea here would be violence puts to shame, the wicked, the violence of the wicked. But blessings are a crown, almost so to speak, to the just, because they do the just render blessings, and they're a crown to them. The wicked render violence, and it puts them to shame. It covers their mouth, so to speak, in shame. The memory of the just is blessed, but the name of the wicked shall rot. How often true is this? Down through history, no matter what names I pick, you're going to have either a positive or a negative idea to them based on historical characters. If I begin naming characters like Julius Caesar and Judas Iscariot and Cain and Hitler and several other individuals throughout history, you would immediately have a negative backlash, right? But then I began naming people like Abel, who was righteous, and David, who was a wonderful little man in the Bible, a wonderful young boy who slew the giant. Or I began talking about Jesus. Or in more recent years, I began talking about some of the better presidents we've had in America, like George Washington and Abe Lincoln. And those names have a good meaning. The memory of the just is blessed. We look at those, and it's just something that when we hear their name, it's something of peace and of happiness and of pride. But the name of the wicked shall rot. And honestly, it has. How many young people have you heard of named Judas in your life? Not very many. Very few people do, and most of those either despise the Bible and God or just don't know anything about it. But people don't generally name their children Judas, and there's a good reason behind it. That name is a stinking, rotting name because of what Judas did. The wise in heart will receive commandments, but a prating fool shall fall. The wise in heart shall receive commandments. Are you wise in heart? Do you receive commandments whenever the law is given, whenever a new truth is given to you? Do you receive that with joy, or do you fail to do so? And then looking at the word prating, probably from these, it means, the lips, the shore, speech, vain talk, and words. The idea of prating basically means somebody who speaks foolishness. So the prating fool, the fool who speaks nothing but foolishness, will fall. His life crumbles to nothing, who has no time for sense and reasoning. But the wise in heart, wisdom, do all you can to gain wisdom. Solomon made a huge stressing point of that, and the people who have throughout history have done well for themselves. But it's generally those who care about wisdom, who care about learning to do things the right way and do things well. They are the ones who succeed, where the ones who fail are the fools who choose to just talk about vanity and worthlessness. Verse 9, "He that walketh uprightly walketh surely, but he that perverteth his ways shall be known." The man who walks the right way walks with surety, with a firm foundation. But the man who perverts his ways, who doesn't quite do things on the level and right, who does things a little bit crooked, so to speak, that's what the word perverteth means, his ways shall be known, and that's not a good thing. People will find him out, figure it out, and take him down for it. You don't go back to the car salesman that you find out was crooked. You go back to the one that treated you right. "He that winketh with the eye causeth sorrow, but a prating fool shall fall." Now, I know a lot of commentaries tend to be of the opinion that where it repeats the "but a prating fool shall fall" might have been a scribe repeating a phrase from earlier, because this didn't seem like a complete thought or something to that effect. But whether it does or not, it's worth bearing repeating. A prating fool, somebody who foolishly, vainly talks foolishness, will fall. And "he that winketh with the eye causeth sorrow." How is that? I remember studying this some time ago. He that winketh, to pinch, to squeeze, winks with the eye. Let me look at a commentary. Just pull open Adam Clark. Winketh with the eye. He says, he that reproveth with freedom maketh peace, is what it should be in the latter part of the verse. But, a faithful open reproving of sin is more likely to promote peace to a society than passing it by slightly. So once again here, the idea, winketh with the eye. Somebody, you say you wink at the evil that's being done. You turn a blind eye to it, is the idea being given here. So the person who turns a blind eye causes sorrow. When you see something that's wrong, that's being done wrong, that people are being evil, do what's right and get it fixed. Call it out, shout out whenever some wrongdoing is being done. I know next Sunday, not this Sunday, but next Sunday is the Right to Life Sunday that we generally talk a lot about abortion, but I'm going to go ahead and mention it now. That's one of the things that we shouldn't be winking at as Christians in this nation. We should be standing up for those unborn babies and doing whatever we can to change what's going on in our country and our government. Just because the government allows it doesn't make it right. Just because the government says that they prefer a certain thing to be done a certain way, we the people don't. So let's stand up and do something about it instead of winking our eyes. But the mouth of the righteous man is a well of life. That's a good thing to know. A righteous man, when he speaks, he's presenting life. He's giving life to people. He's lifting people up. But violence covereth the mouth of the wicked. Once again, this fits very well. Once again, the righteous man speaks good. The evil man speaks violence and things that cause pain, hatred, and strife. Going right into the next verse. Verse 12, hatred stirreth up strife, but love covers all sins. How many times have we heard love covers a multitude of sins? Love covers all sins. Hatred stirs up strife. If you're ever in an argument, it's not a good thing to get upset, to get angry, to call names, to blame somebody else, because it just keeps stoking the fires in the argument. It keeps the fight going. But love covers all sins, all wrongdoings, all shortcomings. When you love somebody and you show them that love, sometimes it can help to smooth over some major, major mistakes in a relationship. In the lips of him that hath understanding, wisdom is found, but a rod is for the back of him that is void of understanding. Now, this means very clearly that somebody who has understanding, who has taken the time to gain wisdom and understanding, that is going to be found in every word that they speak. They're going to just be dripping with it. But a rod is prepared, so to speak, for the back of him that is void of understanding. Somebody who chooses to be a fool, I'm going to just keep with that word. Somebody who chooses to be a fool is going to be somebody who finds themselves being punished over and over again for their foolishness, for their laziness, for the other bad character traits that Solomon talks about throughout this proverb and several other proverbs. Be careful to gain understanding. You know, a famous quote from Zig Ziglar said that it's better to train an employee and lose them than to not train an employee and keep them. And I believe that's very true. You know, people want somebody who has understanding. And honestly, I want to have understanding. I don't want to be a fool. I don't want to be somebody who doesn't understand things. And I believe every one of us wants to understand, wants to have understanding, and we should at least. And if not, then we need to be prepared to suffer consequences for not gaining understanding. Wise men lay up knowledge, but the mouth of the foolish is near destruction. And that's all too true. Men that are wise, women that are wise, anybody who's wise, you notice that word men in here is italicized. That means the King James included it because it didn't necessarily include who the wise people were. It just means wise people. So wise people lay up knowledge, but the mouth of the foolish, near destruction. And that is a very rich picture there. Men laying up, that means storing up and treasuring up knowledge and wisdom and understanding, constantly working towards that. There used to be a day when our nation was a nation full of scholars and people who really understood and knew and studied. But that world is long behind us. There's not a lot of that anymore, and we need to get back to that. Once again, we need to get closer to understanding and knowledge and wisdom once again, especially as Christians. We need to do our best to train ourselves to learn, to gain understanding. No, there's no inherent spiritual value in going to a seminary or a college to get a degree, but there is very much so some very big spiritual benefit to become wise, to understand, to lay up knowledge, to gain understanding, to have wisdom, to learn of God's ways and learn of the truths and learn of history and learn of the way things work. It's a very wise thing to do. And God did not say that you shouldn't study. The only point in the Bible that I know of that says anything about that, Solomon wrote again, that of much learning, it's a weariness of the flesh. It gets you weary. But that didn't mean it's wrong. Didn't mean it's bad. Solomon said it's good. If you're wise, you're going to lay up knowledge. But the foolish person, their very mouth is bringing them to destruction. It keeps them right on that edge all the time. You never know when one last time they'll stick their foot in their mouth the wrong way, and it'll be the end of them. Unfortunately, I've seen a lot of people fall to foolish words, but out of the mouth comes the abundance of the heart, so to speak. What you have in your heart is what comes out through your speaking. And hopefully, that's wisdom. Hopefully it's godliness. Hopefully it's God and not foolishness and destruction, as Solomon put it here. So put your thoughts down in the comments below. Let me know what you think about this proverb. Share this video and this channel with a friend. Like the video if you like it. And I'll see you again tomorrow on another Daily Devotion with Pastor Joe. God bless. Have a wonderful Lord's Day and a great day in the Lord today.